Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today is the fourth lecture of pericyclic chemistry. It's about the molecular orbitals and symmetry that we have been studying in the previous lecture. But today we shall study the example of butadiene, that how butadiene undergoes pericyclic reactions and what kind of symmetry elements it can relate. Talking about the key points or key concepts that we shall discuss in today's presentation are again similar, that we have to discuss the molecular orbitals of butadiene and then different symmetry operation that can operate on butadiene, and then we shall go to the molecular orbital symmetry correlation diagrams for different reactions of butadiene. Here is the structure of butadiene, that it is basically 1,3-butadiene, and they are overall 11 covalent bonds, out of which 6 are CH sigma bonds, 3 are carbon-carbon sigma bonds, single bonds you can say, and 2 are carbon-carbon pi bonds. So there are 2 double bonds, and these 2 double bonds are very crucial or very important for the pericyclic reactions. Okay, when we talk about butadiene, then in 1,3-butadiene we have a system of 4, you can say that there are 4 adjacent carbon atoms. These 4 p orbitals will overlap to produce 4 pi molecular orbitals. We can get 4 new molecular orbitals in a number of equivalent ways. One of these ways is to obtain 4 new molecular orbitals is by linear combination of 2 molecular orbitals of ethylene. Linear combination of orbital is also known as perturbation theory or perturbation molecular orbital theory. We abbreviate it as PMO. Basically, linear combination always take place between 2 orbitals. We call it 2 atomic orbitals or 2 molecular orbitals. Just like in this case, we are considering to use 2 ethylene molecules as a combination. So what does happen here, that it means we have to look only at the results of, we are going to see the results of pi and pi star and pi star combination. So it means that we don't need to consider pi plus minus pi star. So in this case, if you see that we have pi and pi combination, then you get 2 more you can say wave functions. One is bonding interaction and one is anti-bonding. In that case, you see the that first side is pi plus pi, so all the you can say the positive lobes are on the one side. In the other case, that is anti-bonding interaction, that is psi 2, you have one node in there and you get this pi minus pi. So this is what we why we wrote it here, that we are using the linear combination. So in linear combination, one time you add it or do addition, and the other time you subtract these 3. And the other way, if you use pi star and pi star, then in that case you what do you do, that you add them, and the other way you subtract them. And in the subtraction, they are going to be like 3 nodes are there. So from psi 1 to psi 4 we get 0, 1, 2 and 3 there. So this is how like butadiene molecule should be, with nodes and without nodes in the start. Okay, the lowest energy level that is psi 1 of 1,3-butadiene is exceptionally stable for 2 reasons. There are 3 bonding interactions and the electrons are delocalized over 4 nuclei. The second psi 2, you can say the second molecular orbital it is obtained by the anti-bonding interaction from between 2 bonding molecular orbitals of ethylene. So we say that psi 2 orbital has 2 bonding and 1 anti-bonding interaction. So we would expect it to be a bonding orbital, that is it has 2 bonding minus 1 anti-bonding, so it goes 1 bonding. The energy of psi 2 is more than that of psi 1. When we talk about psi 2, that it has got 1 node between C2 and C3. A node is a plane where the wave function drops to zero. So and also the signs, they are opposite in opposite. The third butadiene molecular orbital psi3 star has two nodes. This molecular orbital is obtained from the bonding interactions of between pi star and pi star of two ethylene molecule. There is bonding interaction of C2 and C3 bond, and there are two anti-bonding interactions. One at C1 between C1 and 2, and the other is between C3 and 4. So there is anti-bond. This is an anti-bonding orbital because one bonding minus two anti-bonding goes to one anti-bonding, having two nodes. So energy of psi3 star orbital is more than that of the energy of psi2 molecular orbital. The fourth atomic orbital, the last diagram, if you see, then the fourth molecular orbital is obtained from the anti-bonding interaction between pi star and pi star of two ethylene molecules. This molecular orbital has three nodes and is totally anti-bonding. It means that this molecular orbital has the highest energy. Coming to the symmetry elements of these molecular orbitals, that is 1,3-butadiene molecular orbitals from psi1 to psi4. When you carry out M stands here for mirror plane. So when we carry out mirror plane symmetry operation, in this case what we see that if you divide psi1 from the middle, then it goes, there is a you see that they are the exact mirror images of each other. And also even if you cut this molecular orbital picture equally along the nuclei, so in that case, no, not from that side. In any case, mirror plane should be in between the two nuclei on one side and two nuclei on the other side. So this way it should be symmetrical. But in the other way, if you talk about the mirror plane is placed between the center, then in that case these are asymmetrical. In case of psi3, these are symmetrical because you put the plane in the center, and then these are identical mirror images. In psi4 again it is asymmetrical. But when we talk about C2 axis, and sometimes even if this is C2 axis, but when we even if we had the center of symmetry, in that case too the symmetrical asymmetrical designation stays the same. Anyways, coming back to C2, when we carry out C2, then in psi1 case, if you rotate it by 180 degree, so it is obvious that negative lobes will be up and positive shall be down, and in that case it is asymmetric. But when we talk about psi2, in case of psi2, if you carry out this symmetry operation, that because they were opposite signs in half of the molecular orbital, in other half of the molecule they were different. So when we invert it by 180 degrees, so it goes to the symmetrical structure. Psi3 is again asymmetric and psi2 is symmetric with respect to C2. So it means we have a tabular data of these symmetry operations carried out on these 4 molecular orbitals. Then you can have this slide is very important because sometimes we don't understand that how we can find that which orbitals are symmetric and which orbitals are asymmetric with respect to mirror plane or C2 axis of symmetry. So after carrying out all these operations on these molecular orbitals, so they have reached to a conclusion, and this conclusion says, and this conclusion says that the wave function basically it depends, and I mean the number of nodes, they have very important role to decide the energy, and also it also decides the symmetry elements, symmetry operations too. Just like if you have a wave function, that wave function psi n, it will always has number of nodes 1 minus this number of the number of this psi wave function. Just like if you are talking about psi3, then the number of nodes shall be 2. So it is always 1 less than the number designation of this wave function. So the second rule or second conclusion, it says that when n is odd, psi n will be symmetric with respect to mirror plane and asymmetric with respect to C2. Just like when we talked about psi1, that psi1 was symmetric with respect to mirror plane, but it was asymmetric with respect to C2. And when n is even, just like in case of psi2 or psi4 or psi6, the number of nodes shall be odd. That is, they have a number of nodes shall be odd because it is one less than the psi. And in the other case, we say that when the mirror plane, it is asymmetric, while in case of C2 we say that it is symmetric. Let's take an example involving butadiene as one of the reactant. You can say that when we talk about electrocyclization, then it is a reversible reaction that can that can also go reversibly. Like if butadiene goes to cyclobutene, then cyclobutene can also open up by ring opening reaction to again butadiene. So in this case, before going into the details of these electrocyclization and carrying out symmetry operations, it's better to have a look on the molecular orbitals of butadiene. When we talk about the molecular orbitals of butadiene, then there were four different levels, and because there are two sets are 4 electrons, 4 pi electrons. So the electrons go to the lowest energy level, and then they go to psi1, and then they go to psi2. So the highest occupied molecular orbital is psi2, or the second molecular orbital, and the third one is LUMO in this case. But because there are two possibilities available to us, we can carry out this reaction thermally or by photochemical initiation. In case of a thermal reaction, HOMO is psi2 and LUMO is psi3. But in case we have this reaction catalyzed by light or irradiation is used, then in that case electron excite from psi2 to psi3 star, and now the HOMO is changed. That is, excited state of photochemical HOMO is psi3 star, and the excited state of photochemical LUMO or lowest unoccupied molecular orbital is LUMO psi4 star. Okay. When 1,3-butadiene is heated, then reaction takes place from the ground state. The electrons, because we are talking about a thermal reaction here, the electrons that are used for sigma bond formation are in HOMO, that is psi2 in this case. We call that p orbitals in ground state are HOMO has C2 symmetry. Like we carry out C2 symmetry operation on these one, and if you talk about the symmetry designations of this one, then psi1 is anti-symmetric, psi2 is symmetric, psi3 is asymmetric, and psi4 star is again symmetric. So in this case, we know in case of thermal electrocyclization, we are talking about only those p orbitals that are going to form the sigma bond here. So we shall only talk about the terminal carbon atoms and their p orbitals. Here, because it is thermal reaction, so electrons are in their normal state or ground state. So in this case, HOMO shall be psi2. So thermal case and psi2 orbital is used here, and in case of psi2 we know that it has C2 symmetry, that is symmetrical with respect to C2 twofold axis of symmetry. So there are two possibilities for thermal electrocyclization. We have already talked about these condutatory or disrotatory motion that goes on in electrocyclization. That is, in condutatory, what we say that these you say that these p orbitals, they move in the same direction. It means that they either go in the clockwise direction or they go in the anti-clockwise direction. Just like if positive lobe is moving towards right or clockwise direction, then a negative lobe is also going in the clockwise direction. In this way, positive and positive can interfere constructively, or they can add together. It means that according to condutatory motion, positive and positive lobe come on the same side. But when we carry out disrotatory motion, it means that the lobes of these p orbitals, they are moving in the opposite direction. That is, one is going clockwise and the other is going anti-clockwise. In that case, what we are going to do, that if If this happens, then it means that positive and negative load, they come close together. So it means that here this reaction doesn't go well. In this case, according to the frontier molecular orbital approach, it can't happen here. And the other case is that when we talk about the orbital symmetries, then we know that psi2 is symmetric with respect to C2. So in this case, we have to analyze the symmetry of this sigma bond 2. When we talk about the symmetry of the sigma bond, then this one is symmetry with respect to C2. But when we talk about the other one, that is formed by the distrotatory motion, then this bond is basically, if you carry out symmetry operation on this one, then this is asymmetric with respect to C2. It means that this is symmetrically also forbidden, as well as when we talk about the orbitals overlap, then it is not possible to carry out this reaction. What we infer or what we conclude from these speculations, we say that thermally, when thermal electrocyclization of butadiene takes place in the presence of, or you can say the temperature is used here, so conrotatory motion is allowed while this rotatory motion is not allowed. Okay, let's move to the photochemical electrocyclization. We already discussed if one reaction is thermally allowed, then it won't be allowed by the similar process through photochemical means. But if it is photochemically, just like we have talked that thermally that reaction is allowed, but it is only allowed through conrotatory motion. So what we speculate or what we anticipate, or you can say what we foresee, is that photochemical electrocyclization shouldn't happen through conrotatory motion, it can only happen through distrotatory motion. So let's see how it goes. And basically photo-induced cyclization, the first excited highest occupied molecular orbital of 1,3-butadiene is psi3, because now one electron is excited from the first excited the psi2 to psi3. So now HOMO is changed. So for the formation of new sigma bond, rotation must be distrotatory. I mean, this was something we like speculated already. Let's return to, like, we see that why we carry from one isomer is formed from the thermal cyclization, just like in the previous example, because there are no proper substituents on the terminal on the termini of, you say that butadiene, because this is just simple butadiene, it is 1,3-butadiene, but there are no substituents on the terminal position. Like it could be that there is a possibility that there could be methyl groups on the terminal carbon atoms, but if there are methyl groups in case of terminal carbon atom, if there are methyl groups, then there is the possibility that you can get cis cyclobutene, I mean, in which dimethyls are cis to each other, just like trans 3,4 dimethyl cyclobutene could be one product, and the other possibility is the cis product. So what we saw experimentally, that in case of what we say thermal reaction, we got cis 3,4 trimethyl cyclobutane, but in case of photochemical electrocyclization of this you can say substituted butadiene, we got this trans 3,4 dimethyl butadiene. First we talk about that how this bond is formed and how this cyclobutene is formed, then we shall move to the substitution pattern or cis and trans isomers. The first thing we were discussing was how psi3 involves in the and go through the formation of sigma bond. If we talk about psi3, then these are the listed. There is a list of symmetry operation carried out on these molecular orbitals, and according to mirror plane symmetry, we say that this psi3 is symmetric and psi4 is asymmetric. When we talk about the formation of sigma bond, then distrotatory means that these two are moving in the opposite direction. If they are moving in the opposite direction, it means that either negative lobes are coinciding or positive lobes are coming together. So it means that again we talk about the symmetry of this one, then this is symmetrically allowed. In this case again mirror plane symmetry is there. Even when we okay, anyways, This was the case of this rotatory, but if you carry out conrotatory motion in this case, what happens in conrotatory, that they both move in the same direction. It means now positive and negative lobe can coincide together. In this case, this is not allowed according to the molecular orbital approach to, and as well as symmetry, because in this case Psi3 is symmetric, but when the bond is formed, that sigma will be in the anti-bonding state, so that is not allowed because this one is anti-symmetric with respect to mirror plane. It means that what we foresee for this reaction, that is photochemical dis-rotating motion, is allowed, but it's what we say that is conrotating motion is not allowed. But we also have seen that thermal electrocyclization is allowed conrotatory motion through conrotatory motion, but it is not allowed through dis-rotatory motion. Okay, coming to the next point where we said that the excited state HOMO, it goes dis-rotatory motion, because you know when orbitals are moving, then it means that they have to come together to make a bond, that is sigma bond. It means that at first it was somehow kind of triangle, you can say that it was kind of triangular kind of geometry, because it was sp2 hybridized carbon, and that time CH3 and hydrogen, they were 120 degrees apart. But again when they form this kind of they go in the closed chain structure, so their CH3 groups, they shall be either cis to each other or trans to each other. But at first what we see that in this case CH3 goes because it is going to be dis-rotatory motion, so the orbitals have to move in the opposite direction. If one orbital moves to the clockwise direction and the other moves to anti-clockwise direction, it means one CH3 is going to be up and the other one is going to be down. So in this case we got trans 3,4 dimethyl cyclobutane. What happens, but if we talk about the conrotatory motion, that is thermally allowed. In case of thermally allowed conrotatory motion, imagine these CH3 group, one is moving towards up and the other is moving, other has to move again to the same direction, so it shall go up to again, and it means that both CH3 shall be on the same side. What we see here is that according to this one, this movement of these p orbitals, or you can say the groups attached to it, after this reaction, photochemical electrocyclization of these substituted butadiene, we got trans 3,4 dimethyl cyclobutane. And in case of electrocyclization of substituted butadiene, that is dimethyl substituted butadiene, we got cyclobutene, but it has cis configuration. So this is very much aligned with that, you can say with that property or characteristics of pericyclic reaction that we discussed in the very first lecture. We said that these reactions are pericyclic reactions, they are highly stereospecific. It means that stereospecific reaction, we know that from one particular stereoisomer we can only get the other one, and the outcome of pericyclic reaction is thermally cyclized reaction is totally opposite to that of photochemical reactions. So you have already seen that how it works. Okay, coming to another conclusion that is drawn by repeated experimental results and also these kind of theoretical work. What we have inferred that is 4n pi electron system, just like we have discussed butene or butadiene case. Starting from butadiene, we say that thermal cyclization, electrocyclization is allowed through conrotatory mode of rotation, and it is allowed photochemically by dis-rotatory motion. But if we compare it to the 4n plus 2 type of system, 4n could be 0, and in case of zeros we say that it is done something like you talk about ethylene kind of system. But ethylene can't undergo this electrocyclization reaction, so we talk about the next system is like 6 carbon containing system, that is 6 carbon pi electron system, that is hexatriene system. So in those kind of system, thermally disrotatory motion is allowed and photochemically conrotatory motion is allowed. We shall discuss in the next lecture, inshallah. But these kind of we can say these kind of conclusions and these kind of things you can remember them too, and then you can see that how they go through the further theoretical work or experimentally you can see them. There are a few rules that we have to follow while constructing these molecular orbital correlation diagrams. You have seen the molecular orbital correlation diagrams in case of ethylene when we studied molecular orbitals of ethylene and correlated them in their reactions. And we have also studied some correlation diagrams of butadiene and going to convert to cyclobutene. But every time you construct these correlation diagrams, you have to make sure that you take care of some precautions, and one of them is that each basic process must be isolated and analyzed separately. Otherwise, the superposition of two forbidden but independent processes will be there, and we will reach to erroneous conclusion. It means that if you talk about conrotatory motion or disrotatory mode, or you talk about the thermal mode of these cyclization reactions, or you talk about the photochemical cyclization reaction. So in all these type of reaction, they are different, yet they are part of the same you say that same reaction. So we have their basic process is different, so we have to make their correlation diagrams independently and separately, so that we don't reach to the erroneous conclusions. The second point, it says that symmetry elements chosen for operation should bisect molecular orbital being formed or molecular orbital being broken. Just like we considered when we talk about butadiene, then we only consider, though there are 4 carbon atoms and there are 4 p orbitals that are present on this butadiene, but we only considered 2 p orbitals that were present on the terminal carbon atoms, because those orbitals, they combine together to form the sigma bond and connect the convert this butadiene to cyclobutene. Though there is another reaction going on side by side, that is the rest of the 2 p orbitals that were behind these two that were other than these 2 terminal carbon p orbitals, they combine together to form another pi bond, but that is not the major change. The major change going on was the formation of this sigma bond. So the symmetry elements chosen for operation are only they are carried out on the molecular orbitals being formed and molecular orbitals being broken. Like in this case we have talked about this formation of this sigma bond through conrotatory or disrotatory motion. So they say that choosing such symmetry element with respect to which all the molecular orbitals are being symmetric or anti-symmetric is of no use. Just if you have like the other p orbitals, we draw their diagrams, we have to consider them for the symmetry operations too. But in this case, if you carry out symmetry operation considering each and every orbital present on that compound, that is meaningless, because in this way we can carry out symmetry operations, but that way it won't be like we won't get the exact results, and the correlation diagrams that will get very messy. So they say that if symmetry elements don't divide, the bond formed or broken in 2 equal halves, again correlation diagram formed which show that process is symmetrically allowed either way. So we have to be cautious and we have to be careful that we just carry out these symmetry elements considering the only bonds being formed or being broken are the ones they are very important for the reaction. And there are 2 more points. Another point is like if there is an heteroatom that is involved in polyene component, that there is another possibility you're talking about that there is a reaction between ethene and ketene type of compound, where the carbon-carbon double bond and ethylene molecule, they react together while the carbon-oxygen double bond stays out of the butene, the newly formed cyclobutane ring. So the important thing is that in this type there is no heteroatom involved exactly, but there is another possibility that there could be nitrogen atom there. There could be imine type of bond. So C double bond N, it could react with carbon-carbon double bond. So in this type of reaction where polyene component has heteroatom present, though what we have to do is that we have to replace it by isoelectronic carbon grouping, just like we can replace nitrogen by another carbon with its two hydrogens attached or one hydrogen attached. We have to make it isoelectronic carbon grouping. Anyways, you have to make sure that these heteroatom, why they say that heteroatoms, they don't get involved, we don't have to mention them in polyene components, because if you carry out this symmetry operations in using those heteroatoms, there is new possibility that they are non-bonding pair of electrons, just like on nitrogen they are a lone pair of electrons. So we have the availability of low-lying unoccupied orbitals. So the electronic cloud and the lone pairs, the system changes entirely, and we have to take new factors in consideration. So to avoid these complications, it's better to replace nitrogen by isoelectronic group carbon groupings. Again, when we talk about the next fourth point is like quantum mechanical non-crossing rule. You have seen that when we make correlation diagrams, then what we do like that, the electrons are moving from HOMO to LUMO, and then sometimes we say that there is another possibility that from LUMO to HOMO electrons can also move, but there are sometimes the crosses are there in the correlation diagram, but we have to make sure that the crosses are only allowed from then the symmetries are different, like from symmetric to asymmetric the cross can occur, but we can't do like that symmetric is crossing another symmetric orbital, like you can say that you have two orbitals, like there is one symmetric, just like we talk about the butadiene structure, we have symmetric, asymmetric, symmetric and asymmetric type of molecular orbitals. Then from symmetric it goes to another from HOMO it goes to LUMO of another molecule, that is it, let's assume it is symmetric, then we say that symmetric transition is going on, but from symmetric to asymmetric we can't carry out this one, and also we can't carry out leaving one symmetric behind and go to the next one. This is the book I would refer you for this lecture, because it is very precise and they have shown it very comprehensively how cyclobutene get involved in pericyclic reaction and how their molecular orbitals are related with the symmetry operations. Here's an assignment for you. I want you to locate the mirror planes passing through each of the butadiene molecular orbital. We have talked about this one, but when you literally write it on paper and check where could be the mirror plane, and then you may be able to understand it in a better way.